Is it me, or are these Leica cameras a right pickle to load? It always seems to take me ages to load a Leica. Not in a rush, not that there's anything exciting or any action that I'm going to miss where I live anyway. But I'll come back to the Leica Rangefinder in a short while and show you what you can expect from trying to frame your shots with a rangefinder. It's not particularly, well, it is easy, but it's not always what you see is what you get. And at the moment I'm dabbling in my darkroom with some prints. We'll come back to this in a short while, but to cut a long story short, I just wanted to go out and play with the camera. So I chose to go to Yarmouth, which is a harbour, and it was early evening, and I wasn't really expecting much to be going on down there, to be honest with you, but I was quite pleasantly surprised with what I stumbled across, which is why I'm in the darkroom now. I'll let the video run, and then we'll come back to the darkroom and I'll show you a couple of prints from the negatives that I come back with from the shoot. So this evening I've come to a place called Yarmouth on the Isle of Wight. It's over the west side of the Isle of Wight, and it's a nice quaint little town. It's a harbour town, a little bit of fishing going on, lots of little boats and a ferry as well that takes you to the other side. And there's also some nice pubs and restaurants and nice shops as well. But it's in the evening. I've decided to come out here in the evening. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening. And the reason I've done that is because it's less busy. I've got to stop the video there. I just said it was less busy. Later on, as I go through the roll of film, I finished the roll of film and I was walking back to my car, and I turned around and there was about 100 people all behind me waiting for them to start performing for D-Day. And you know, God bless those soldiers that gave us so much freedom today. May them rest in peace. It was unbelievable, but I'd run out of film. Luckily I had a digital camera with me, so I started taking a few pot shots there, but I managed to record the guys and the display and the lighting of the lantern as well in respect. And that's the thing about photography. Sometimes you can sit at home and you look out and you think to yourself, oh, there's not much going on, you know, the weather ain't right or whatever. You give yourself so many excuses not to go out and take pictures. But often what I do is just grab a camera, put a roll of film in there and go off and see what I can find. Sometimes nothing, but other times unexpected things turn up and I think, wow, I'm really glad that I went out today with a camera. When I was down in Yarmouth that evening, the lifeboat crew turned up from the Royal National Lifeboats and I took a few photographs there. Now, that might not seem much, but in years and years and years to come, they were the guys that were the lifeboat crew of the Isle of Wight 2024. If you go back 50, 60, 70 years, you'll have photographs of the previous lifeboat crews. Okay, they're not official photographs, but they're my photographs, and it'll be nice to look back on in years to come, please God. And I want to come down and get some nice black and white photographs of the lanes and some of the shops, and just to add to my collection. You know, these sort of photographs I think are important, documenting your own towns. So that's what I'm going to be doing this evening. I brought out with me the Leica MP, fantastic little camera. And with this I've got a roll of Agfa APX 100 inside as well, and this is a sort of camera that I like taking out often for my street photography and also event photography as well. Not so good for getting bang on compositions because it hasn't got 100% viewfinder. It's a rangefinder, so it is a little bit hit and miss with the compositions, but with street photography and this kind of photography it doesn't really matter too much. Other than that, it's a fantastic camera for this sort of work. So I came here late in the evening. It's tourist season at the moment here, and earlier on in the day these streets would have been mobbed and far too busy. I soon started to struggle as a bit of town life can make the images feel more real, but I managed to find the odd person here and there to fill the frame in my compositions. For once though, I did feel nice wandering around an empty town. Tourists wouldn't stop and stare at the local weirdo laying on the floor. This is my Leica MP black paint that I've had for a few years now, and it took me some time to get used to. It's a rangefinder camera with a magnification of 0.72, and when you look through it's super bright. And if you're not sure what a rangefinder does, basically there's no mirror inside for focusing through the lens. Instead, you look through and you're greeted with a double vision, and as you turn the focusing ring on the camera, the two images come together, and that's when you're in focus. Inside the viewfinder are guidelines to help you compose, and there is a switch on the front which you can toggle between different focal lengths depending on your lens. I'm using a 50mm lens and the camera already knows that, and inside it gives me guides for a 50mm and also a 75mm lens. But if I frame my subject within the 50mm guides, my negative shows more of the scene around the edges. And one thing about these cameras, other than their brilliant build quality, is the film loading. It takes quite a while to get used to, and some can do it in an instant, whilst others, like me, do it at a snail's pace. Once the film is inserted in the camera, you put the plate back on and it pushes the film into place, as you can see here. Like all cameras, it is just a box with a hole, and the quality comes down to the photographer and the lens you're using. But these cameras are built to last and are super accurate as well. They say Leica MP, mechanical perfection. And you know, when you think about Germany and the stuff that comes out of Germany, BMW, the ultimate driving machine, Audi, Voigtlander, I can never say that word, but they've always got a ditty for something. And usually whatever they do is bloody good. It's also got this lovely pier as well behind me. I've been down here quite a few times in the past, but it's about 40 minutes drive from where I live, so not too often I come here. It's nice to come down here sometimes in the summer for a few sunset shots, you know. I'll let you see the pier, I'll get out of the way. I probably took about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 shots around town. Something like this just really slows you down. It's so peaceful and quiet, but all I'm doing is just practicing with my camera and enjoying a bit of black and white film photography. Coming in behind me, can you see that lifeboat coming in behind me? I reckon I've got about another half hour before the light goes. But yeah, this sort of photography is just nice and peaceful, you know. I mean, we can all go out and do serious photography and really get into it. I find these sort of cameras, these rangefinders, are more suited for street and events, but I'm just taking photographs of whatever I fancy, you know. It's just a roll of film, go back, develop and see what I've got on the negatives. There might be a couple of printers in there, there might not be, but if so, if not rather, I can still keep those in my collection, and like I said, in years to come, you know, and I'll come back down here again in maybe 6 months or a year and do the same thing again. It's only a roll of film in a bit of time. I took a couple of shots of the lifeboat people down there. They do a fantastic job, those guys. Give me a little smile. I took a picture while they was working. They've just come in, don't know what they've been up to. But yeah, this sort of photography, you know, it's just enjoyable. If you enjoy photography and you like taking pictures and you like shooting film especially, or even digital, or even on your iPhone, something like this just coming out, there's no plan at all. It's just coming out, having a nice walk with your camera, and just taking pictures of whatever tickles your fancy, you know, along the way. And like I said, I don't come down this place much, maybe 2 or 3 times a year I'd come down here. So to come down here and just wait for that sun to set is quite nice. So I'm not going yet, I'm gonna wait for that sun to set, probably about another half hour or so, and I'll see what I can get then as well. Some people might think this sort of photography isn't for them, or maybe it's a bit boring. To be honest with you, I never thought it was for me at one point. Just taking photographs of your own town or whatever, or places near where you live. I've realised, going back over my negatives over the last 10 years or so, I can look at them and think, blimey, that place has changed since I last was there taking photographs, you know what I mean? So I think this sort of photography is kind of important, you know, to document where you live. Even though it's a bit boring, it's worth shooting a few roll of film on it once in a while, and you know, just collecting them, keeping them in your negative storage. So that's it, I've done all my photographs. 36 shots, it's quite a lot. Mind you, I've been here for probably about an hour and a half wandering around. So let's get this rewound, and then we'll get back and develop and see how they look. How do you guys leave your cameras stored? Do you leave them advanced or leave them not advanced? I always leave mine obviously with the caps on. I'll leave them not advanced. Let us know in the comments, it'd be interesting to know. So I guess if there's anything you could take away from this video is, even if you think your own town or your own area is boring, it's always worth having a little walk around, stroll about with your camera. You never know what's going to happen. Like my video here, you saw the lifeboat crew come in. I've never seen that before. And also it was a bonus to see the marching band as well. Though I didn't get any film photographs of them guys, I sat there and watched them, and it was quite nice. If you're enjoying the content that I make, then maybe you'd like to support the work I do on the channel by joining me on Patreon or becoming a YouTube member. For as little as $2 or £2 a month, you can get access to my other videos and posts, as well as early releases. Or you can grab some merch or buy me a coffee. This helps me massively to continue making content. Or simply subscribe, hit the like button, sit back, relax and enjoy the videos. Cheers! And did you guys get it right which negatives I was going to make a print of? Obviously the lifeboat crew, I had to get a print of them, and I'll be giving that one over to the lifeboat crew when I go over to Yarmouth next. So I might have to get over there a little bit earlier because they might change. But I'm intending to give that one to the lifeboat crew. That was really easy negative to work with, no messing about with that one. And then the Yarmouth pier as well with the pigeon on the side. I like that shot. I like the lines going off into the background of the pier. Had to do a little tiny bit of burning in on the sky. But that one came out really nice as well. But the one that surprised me the most was the one with the two little boats in the background. That was tricky lighting. The sun was just going down, it was glaring right across the water, and the boats were quite dark, so it was a case of just doing a little bit of average metering, which I did. And when I got in the dark room, I made a print of that, and it's come out really nice. I had to pre-flash the paper just to take a bit of the inertia off, because that highlight in the water was quite bright, and it still is on the print, but you're not going to get around that. It is what it is. That's what I saw with my eyes. And I had to do a little bit of split grading and some burning down the bottom and some burning up at the top, so the centre of the print stands out, and they've come out really nice indeed. I'll be putting those two on my Etsy page, guys. If you want to purchase one of those prints and support the channel, I'll be putting two of those prints out on the Etsy page. I've made three, one for myself, and I'll be putting two up on there, so have a look out for that. Link will be in the description. And what started out with a little bit of boredom indoors, I went off with my camera just to see what I could find, and it turned out okay. I'll leave you guys with the Yarmouth Marching Band for D-Day for the 80th anniversary. I'll let you have a little listen to what they were doing. They're fantastic. Thanks very much for watching and all the support that I get from you guys. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments, do you guys use a Leica? Do you have a little bit of trouble loading it as well? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you find that trying to get a real accurate composition out of it, like I can with a Nikon F3 for example, let us know how you get on with that. I'd be interested to know. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you next time.